Welcome to the extra video of the Minish Cap playthrough. Now throughout the game we got the mysterious shells, and I never actually said what they are for. Now these shells are for this side quest where you can make figurines. Basically you go to this guy, you trade in mysterious shells, and you get figurines. Now it's kind of weird how this system works. Basically, the more shells you trade in, the higher chance you have of getting a new figurine. Now when you first do this, you only need one shell to get a new figurine because you've never gotten one before. But as you go along, you are going to need more and more shells to guarantee that you will get a new figurine. Now after a certain point, I suggest that you don't guarantee that you get a new figurine. I suggest that you make it so you get, so there's like a 90% chance you'll get a new one. And you will need a ton of mysterious shells to get all 157, I think there are. There are so many figurines. You are going to need a ton of mysterious shells. So make sure you come back here often. Eventually, you will just need to use the infinite rupee trick to get more shells. You can buy them at the store, but they are very overpriced. But you really don't have a choice because coming across them in the field is very difficult, and a lot of them do come from kinstone fusions. So before you do this side quest, make sure you do as many kinstone fusions as possible, just because sometimes you can get 200 mysterious shells from kinstone fusions. So make sure you do those before this, but also make sure you do not get 999 shells, because if you get more, they won't count. So make sure you come back here often and get rid of all of your shells, just so you don't reach the maximum and waste some shells. Now I'm not going to show you every single figurine, and in a moment I'm going to cut to where I get the last one, simply because there's 157 of them. Do you really want to watch me keep giving him shells and then pulling the lever and watching the egg fall 157 times? Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think anyone wants to see that, so I cut it out. I cut out the rest of it, and here is me getting the final shell. You need 100 shells to guarantee you get the final figurine. And I just put in 100 just because I had that many, and I knew I only had one left. Because it just took forever to get all of the figurines. I felt it was just such a grind, having to go back, get more rupees, buy more shells, and oh, it was painful. It took a long time to get all of these, and I really didn't feel like doing it for this playthrough. But I decided that I might as well do it. Anyways, once you get all of the figurines, you get the Karloff medal, and that's all it is. It's just a medal. There's no point to it. It serves no purpose. It's just a medal. There's no purpose to it. But if you go back to Hyrule Castle Town, you can visit some guy who will give you the final heart piece of the game. Here I'm just going to show you all of the figurines. If you want to read the descriptions, you can pause the video, and yeah, it's just I'm just showing off all the figurines. If you can't tell, this footage is sped up, because originally this video was like 12 minutes long, because on every single figurine I stopped for a few seconds so you could look at it. But after rewatching the video, I realized that I don't want to watch 8 minutes of this. I don't want to watch 8 minutes of me scrolling through all of the figurines. So if you want to look at them, pause the video. Otherwise, I just sped it up just so the video was a whole lot shorter, because I didn't want a 12-minute video where 6 of the minutes were just scrolling through all of these figurines. I mean, I didn't see the point of doing that. But all of the figurines in this game, they're all enemies and people, and the bosses are also included. So they're really cool. I like the figurines. It's certainly better than the figurine system in Wind Waker, which I absolutely hated. Getting all of those figurines was much worse than this, but You can't actually get some of the figurines until after you beat the game, so keep that in mind. It's basically the figurines of Vaddie and the final bosses and stuff like that. But once you get every single figurine in the game, talk to this guy, who will finally open the final house in Hyrule Castle Town. I didn't mention it, but there's one house that is always locked. But if you go in the back entrance, it is unlocked. But you can look in the house, but you'll just see a heart piece and some treasure chests. And you can't go in the front door. But once you get every single figurine and talk to this guy, he will open the door for you, so you can finally go in. And here I'm showing off the back entrance. As you can see, there is a heart piece there. There's some sort of music device there, and there's a few chests available, so keep that in mind. Anyways, that, what's the name for it? It's I don't know, there's some name for that music device. I can't think of it right now. But that acts as the sound test of the game. Now, you can only play back music. You can't play sound effects, or at least I don't think you can. But this is basically... Oh, it's a phonograph. That's what it is. This is basically the sound test. You can play every single music track in the game. Everything from the intro theme to the final boss theme. You can play it all, so if you want, you can experiment with this or whatever you want to do. And the music in this game, I really like it. I think it's great. The soundtrack is one of my favorite in Zelda history. It's not my favorite soundtrack ever, but it's really good. I really like it. And it's a Legend of Zelda game, and they all pretty much have great soundtracks. Except the first game, but that was on the NES, and yeah. Anyways, before we end this playthrough, we are going to get the final heart of the game. Now, you may have noticed that I have 0 out of 4 heart containers. So you may be thinking, how are we going to get one single heart? Well, the final heart is not 4 heart pieces. You actually get a heart container. And as far as I know, this is the only time in the Legend of Zelda series where you get actual heart containers outside of the bosses. Now, I know the first Legend of Zelda game is an exception, so keep that in mind, but look at that, a heart container. How cool is that? And that is the final heart piece in the game. I have every single one of them. And that is the end of the Minish Cap playthrough. I hope you enjoyed, and until next time, this is UAA signing out. I'll see you guys later.